Greetings, Earthlings! I'm back with a review of a handheld dynamic omnidirectional interview microphone. That was a mouthful. So today we're looking at this guy, the Movo HM-M2, which is a handheld omnidirectional dynamic microphone. If you do want to pick this guy up, it'll set you back around $55. Like always, I'll throw some links down below. And for this review, I have the microphone connected directly to the 2i2 2nd Gen using an XLR to XLR cable with the gain set at around 3 o'clock. Not going to do any post-processing, but I may boost it in post, so check the doobly-doo to see what I diddly did. Now let's talk about what comes in the box. Who throws like a sissy now, b****s? It's probably still me, isn't it? Oh well. First up, the microphone does come in this padded pleather carrying pouch. You do obviously get the microphone, and you get some documentation. As far as the build quality, this microphone does feel pretty decent. Not amazing, but decent. It has an all-metal body, which does feel like a relatively cheap kind of metal. It has a metal mesh grill, which does not have any give to it. It is fairly lightweight, which is good for an interview microphone, but most importantly, it has an extremely long handle, which is very important for an interview microphone. Now, as far as the specs, this thing has an omnidirectional polar pattern, a frequency response of 70 Hz to 15 kHz, a sensitivity of around -56 decibels, and an impedance of 200 ohms. Now I'm spinning around the Movo HM-M2 to show you how it sounds as we move around the microphone in this direction, and we shouldn't hear any change tonally as we move in this direction. Now I'll go ahead and move to the front of the microphone, move to the rear of the microphone, and then move back to the side of the microphone. Now I'm passing the microphone back and forth between my hands to show you how it does with handling noise. Now let's test the plosives. Please bring pizza pronto. Please bring pizza pronto. Pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and back this microphone up from my mouth about a foot or foot and a half, and then boost my interface's gain to 100% to show you how this would sound in the environment or the situation that you're most likely going to be buying this for, where you have this set in between yourself and the person you're interviewing, so you don't have to constantly move the microphone back and forth in between you. You just set it right there, and you're going to capture the audio from you as well as your interviewee. And now I'm doing a test that's really not that accurate at all, but I have some city traffic noise playing on my computer. How loud is it? I don't know. I don't know how loud it's supposed to be. But I'm playing that in the background and speaking to see how much of my voice versus how much of that it picks up, and maybe you'll find that useful. Okay, now I have the Movo HM-M2 connected directly to my Canon 70D using an XLR to 3.5mm cable, and the camera's microphone gain is set at around 50%, and this is how the audio sounds. Okay, now I have the microphone connected directly to the Zoom H1 portable recorder using the same XLR to 3.5mm cable. The input gain is set at 70%, and this is how the audio sounds. Now I have the microphone connected directly to the Zoom H6 portable recorder using an XLR to XLR cable. My gain is currently set at 60% or 6 on the dial, and this is how the audio is sounding. Now let's do a very brief comparison. So right now I'm speaking into the Movo HM-M2. Now I'm speaking into the Rode Reporter omnidirectional dynamic microphone. And now I'm speaking into the Electro 635A, which is one of the most legendary omnidirectional dynamic handheld interview microphones out there. Well, I guess this microphone is just a really cheap alternative to something like that Rode Reporter or the Electro 635A. Now, in terms of pros, this thing did an exceptional job at handling noise rejection. It also did a really good job at plosive rejection, and it also has this really long handle, which is very useful if you're interviewing somebody. But on the other hand, in terms of cons, the tone of the microphone just isn't very good. And now in terms of my overall thoughts of this mic, for music applications, I really don't have any thoughts other than please don't use it for that. It would sound terrible. And then for spoken word, this microphone really lacks any kind of body, which makes it sound somewhat hollow, but it's also very tinny, a bit harsh, and it just doesn't sound very good all around. But I do still think that this microphone has a place in the market, and that's because dynamic omnidirectional microphones with these long handles are typically used out in the field to do interviews with people who don't know how to use a microphone or just doing general reporting. And the reason for that is the omnidirectional polar pattern gives you a lot more flexibility and leeway when you're placing the microphone in between yourself and somebody you're interviewing, or if you don't want to have the microphone right in front of your face and always be focused with where the microphone is pointing. Now, although I do think that something like this SM58 sounds exponentially better than something like the HM-M2 or the Rode Reporter or the 635A, there's no doubt that this microphone is much less forgiving, where you can't just place it in between yourself and the person you're interviewing, meaning you would have to point it at yourself and then point it to the person you're interviewing. So unless you're an expert at moving the microphone back and forth between yourself and the person you're interviewing, as soon as they start talking, you may end up losing part of the interview because you can't really hear what's being said when you're off axis of the SM58. And now, would I recommend this microphone? Well, actually, yeah. And that's because this microphone wasn't made for the masses. This is not something that everybody should go out and buy. This is a microphone made with a very specific use case that a few other microphones have done in the past, but it's priced in a way that people who are on a budget can pick this up and get very similar functionality and very similar quality to those other microphones. But if you do have the budget, those other microphones sound much, much better than the Movo HM-M2. Alright guys, well that's actually going to do it for today. So if you got anything out of this, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you hated it, thumbs down. Want more videos like this? You can subscribe by clicking the logo beneath me. You could also click that bell button down there. If you want to hang out in the Discord server, I'll throw a link in the description, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Bye.